Hello class, in this video we're going to continue learning how to multiply in different ways. The last video we used the standard algorithm. Today we're going to use a modified version of the area model. But before we go into an example, I want you to pause this video now, write down your full heading including your first and last name, the date, mathematics, your period, and then the assignment name multiply using the area model. Pause this video now and write this in your notebooks. Now that we have this in our notebooks, let's look at an example. So here we have 159 times 24. So here we're going to use a modified version of a rectangle. Area model. We're going to use a rectangle because I have 3 digits and then I only have 2 digits here. So I can't be a square. So what I first do is I am going to create a rectangle. And then I have to look at where do I have to separate these. I personally like to use the larger number on the top and the smaller number on the side. You could choose to flip that if you want, but that's the way we're going to do this video. So I look at the 159 and I notice there's 3 digits. Because there's 3 digits, I need to have 3 columns. So I'm going to make 1 column there and 1 column here. Now I know since you're not doing it without a tool like I am, it's okay if you don't have it perfectly right. Now I look at the second digit here and that has 2 digits. So I only need to split this up into 1. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be for how you can recognize it. So I look at 159 and I can split that up by place value. So if I did 100 plus 50 plus 9, if I add them all up together, I know that I'm going to get 159. Now I split the second number. In this case, it's 24. So I do it by place value. I have 2 10s. 2 10s equals 20. Then I have 4 1s, and 4 1s equals 4. So now that I've split it up, I can look at how I multiply. Now in a normal area model, you're doing this on graph paper so that you can count the little squares in between here. But if we notice, we're dealing with larger numbers, and the next example is even larger than this. So we're not actually going to draw all those little squares out, but it's the same type of context. So I look at each individual square, and I look at the number on top to the number on the left. Those 2 numbers is what I'm multiplying. So for this first square, I'm going to do 100 times 20. And 100 times 20 equals 2,000. So I'm going to write 2,000. Now the box under here, I look at top, I have 100. I look to the left, it's 4. So 100 times 4 gives me 400. Now, even though I don't have to, I am trying to keep these digits in lines because I like to add vertically, not horizontally. So I try to keep them in place value order. If not, at the end, you're going to have to recopy all of these numbers down and putting them in place value before you add. Now I can move to the next square. In this square, I look up and I have a 50. To the side, I have 20. So 50 times 20 equals 1,000. So I'm going to write 1,000. This square here has 50 times 4. And 50 times 4 is 200. So again, I'm trying to line them up by place value at the top row. And then in this box, I have 9 times 20. 9 times 20 is 180. So I do 180. And in this last box, I look up, there's a 9. I look to the left, that's a 4. 9 times 4 is 36. So I'm going to write 36. Now here you have 2 options. You can add up and create a listing by place value on the side and then add up all 6 digits. Or you can do what I like to do. I like to add up and add each column and then add to the side just what I added on the bottom. But you could choose to do either method. So since I like to do it by the column, this is why I line up my digits. So I can easily see. So I have 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 plus 0 is 0. So 2,000 plus 400 is going to give me 2,400. Since I have another column, I'm going to add a plus so I don't merge my numbers. Here I have 0 plus 0 gives me 0. 0 plus 0 gives me 0. 0 plus 2 gives me 2. 1 plus 0 gives me 1. So 1,000 plus 200 gives me 1,200. Now I know I'm not putting my commas for my periods just yet because I'm still adding. Since I have another column I have here, so 0 plus 6 is 6. 8 plus 3 is 11, so I bring down the 1, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 180 plus 36 gives me 216. Now that I have this column here, I then can turn around and create of just these three numbers instead of all six. I can line them up by place value. But again, you could do this for all six if you want, or you could do it the way that I did. The next number is 1,200. So I'm going to make sure that my digits are aligned under the correct place value. If I don't, I'm not going to be adding right, because if I add 6 ones, for example, to 400, that's completely two different values from what my true answer is. So always line up by place value. Now I can add straight across my sum line. So let's go. 0 plus 0 is 0 plus 6 is 6. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 0 is still 3. Now that I have my final answer, I can rewrite it, because remember, I want to keep it separate and I want to circle here because I don't want to get myself confused. Now I'm going to add my periods. So I go 1, 2, 3. I know a comma belongs here. So I know 159 times 24 is going to give me 3,816. I want you to pause this video now and write down our expression, all of our work, and our final answer. So I should see everything on the screen in our notebooks. Now that we have that down, let's look at one more example. So here, this is a much larger number than we had in the previous slide, right? Because we had a 3 by 2 here, but now I have a 4 by 3. But the process is the same. So I'm going to first start off by creating my rectangle. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger, right? Because I have 4 digits I need to put on top and 3 on the side. So now that I have this, I have 4 digits on top. So I got to create 4 columns. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, like I'm making it perfect here, because I'm using an app to draw straight lines. As we all know, I cannot draw straight lines by hand very often. As long as you get the concept, you're fine. So I have 4 columns for my 4 digits here. Now I'm going to need 3 rows because I have 3 digits in my second number. The last time I only needed 2. Here I needed 3. So now that I have that, I can now start writing my digits. So I could break 2,134 into 2,000 plus the 1 is in my 100, so I have 100 plus the 3 is in my 10, so I have 30 plus the 4 is my 1s, so I have 4. So I do 2,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 4. I'm going to get 2,134. Same concept for the 362. I'm going to do 300 plus 60 plus 2. 300 plus 60 plus 2 is going to give me 362. So I'm just going to take the same thing that I did before, the number on top times the number on the side. I'm going to do that for each and every one of them. So this box would be 2,000 times 300. This would be 2,000 times 60. And this one would be 2,000 times 2. So notice how I kept my lines, my digits the same way. I am pausing the video in between of writing just to save for time-wise. Now here in this box, I would do 100 times 300. In this box, I would do 100 times 60. In this box, I would do 100 times 2. Same follow suit for the rest of this chart. So now that I did all of them, each square I look at the top times that by the number on the side. So then I would turn around and just add each column up so that I have 4 different numbers that I'm going to be writing on the side to add it. So I'm going to pause the video to write my answers in, but just know I'm doing 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0 and lining them straight down, adding the columns. So this column I'm doing 600,000 plus 120,000 plus 4,000. In this column I'm doing 30,000 plus 6,000 plus 200. In this column I'm doing 9,000 plus 1,800 plus 60. And in the final column I'm doing 1,200 plus 240 plus 8. So after I added each and every column up, I got these 4 terms. I already added it to the side here, and now I'm just going to add these final digits. So I have 0 plus 0 plus 0 gives me 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. Notice how I'm keeping them by place value. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. So I'm going to bring down the 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. So I bring down the 5. I carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 0 is 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. So I'm going to bring down the 2 and carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So I write down the 7, and 7 plus 0 gives me 7. Now I can rewrite my numbers because I never want to do it with my work. I want to pull it out separately. Do 1, 2, 3. My comma goes here. So I know now that 2,134 times 362 is going to give me 772,508. Notice I did not use the word "and" as I do not have any decimals here. I want you to pause this video now and write down the expression, all of our work, and our final answer in your notebooks. Now that we have this in our notebooks, I want you to try to do 2 on your own. So I want you to evaluate using the area model. You must use the area model because it says to, okay? It's only when it doesn't tell you a specific method to use that you can choose. But here it's saying we need to use the area model. And you need to show all of your work. Remember, if I can't see your work, we can't do corrections. Because if we can't do corrections, if we don't see what it is that you were doing and how your thought process was. Do up to everything that you can and what you think the answer is. And write down if you are confused with anything. You are also allowed to rewind this video and watch it as many times as you need to. But show all of your work using the area model for each of these, 472 times 35 and 5,341 times 732.